Perfect. Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to this Sunday morning call for the majority of you. Actually, I completely forgot to mute all of you, so if you could just mute yourselves, that would be amazing. For those of you who I've not yet met, my name is Hattie Manners. I'm an independent consultant and executive district manager with Arbonne. Thank you so much for jumping on to listen to this training, which is basically going to be all about how to boss your first month in Arbonne as a millennial. So I've been working closely with Donna, as I said, recently on this topic, since it's become apparent that so many millennials are really sprinting ahead and rolling with Arbonne. The 9 to 5 is not appealing to us, but the norm to kind of get to region and nation has always been kind of 3 to 5 years. That's how we've always understood it, and that's the average. But now with social media and other tools, millennials are just popping region and nation in 1 year, even 6 months. And just the sheer volume of millennials starting an Arbonne business is crazy. I think even just this week alone in our region, we've had 4 to 5 millennials join. So this call is kind of, like I said, an emergency training. It's also noticeable though that Gen Ys do work very differently to Gen X's. And so there needs to kind of be like an update in the system and what we're using that remains compliant, that is also still duplicable, but is really, really simplified. I think that's what I've kind of really wanted to kind of get done, really, is just simplify everything, because sometimes it's just so overcomplicated. And I just do want to firstly stress that this call and a few other trainings that are going to be coming from us, and Holly Fowler as well is going to be helping. We've been working with Donna and Lindsay on this. That these trainings are not limited and specific to just millennials, and they're for anyone really who wants to learn how to sponsor and also work with millennials and get them set up strong. So I also just want to mention that a lot of the trainings that we're going to be doing are very focused on social media, quite a lot. And that doesn't mean that you have to build this way as well. The system isn't changing, we're just adapting. And again, like I said, we're just simplifying some things for those who do want to run and also really utilize social media, which we can't deny is just such a brilliant tool. And for most of us millennials, we have been brought up with social media, and you know, it's there, and if you want to utilize it, then we're kind of making it easier to do that. So what I'm going to discuss is a really simple document that I've created, that I'm going to screen share with you all and just run through it. And it's basically surrounding getting started. So particularly in that first week that you start, when you have your getting started call, this is something that you can screen share with that newbie and kind of go through what needs to be done in their first week. And then I'm going to elaborate a bit more on what else I think is important to do as a millennial, kind of in your first month as a whole, and then some tips that I kind of have that have been really working for me. And then at the end, I'd really love to hear from you guys and just answer any questions that any of you have, or perhaps anyone else can share some things about what's been working for them. That would be amazing. But the reason why I wanted to create this document is because I found, like I said, sometimes we really overcomplicate what we do in Arbonne, and that is why sometimes I think people are put off. Because why? So they say, you know, oh my God, I don't have time for that. I'm way too busy for that. But in simple terms, all we do in Arbonne is start shopping for better, safer products and show other people how to do exactly the same. The fluff around all of that, for instance, like how you speak to people and how you show people the opportunity, is what you learn as you earn. And sometimes we get so caught up in explaining, you know, Petamork's vision and all the ingredients in the products and the cash bonus for the white Merc. And those things are quite important, but we don't need to know the ins and outs of them when you first start. So don't be overwhelmed with learning so much. You learn as you earn, like I said. And again, before people have even joined, you know, people are explaining all of those things, and it's just too much for that person to take in. And then they think, God, I don't have time for that. And I know we all kind of do love to know the details. Molly Thompson, especially, I've never had someone ask so many questions before she even started, and then when she started, which is great. But I think most millennials just do love something that's just plain and simple, and something that's fun as well and easy to share. They're much more likely to be able to see themselves doing it if we make it very simple. Because at the end of the day, this is not a complicated concept. And I find, you know, the more simple we make it, the easier, like I said, they can see themselves doing it. Just repeating that. So for example, when I'm sure you've all heard people, you speak to them about Arbonne, they say, oh, I need to think about this. I need to, you know, ask my mum, my dad, my auntie, my neighbour, my cat, my dog, my goldfish. It's like, you just want to kind of say to that person, like, what do you need to think about? Because if someone was going, like, popping into Boots to buy some makeup that they love, they wouldn't have to think about it for that long. And that's literally what we're trying to demonstrate, is that absolutely anyone can do this. You're just shopping online. That is all you're doing. And then how to integrate that into their lives. So they assume that they won't have time, but we need to kind of nail that. So I know I've kind of babbled on a bit there. So what I'm going to do is screen share this document with you. Oh, I've lost you all. Right. Share. Oh, it's not letting me. Oh, here we go. So this is not pretty at all. I don't know why it's doing that as well. It's not on speaker view. I think it's just on like the latest person that joined. So we'll just put it like that. Can you all see that? Can anyone put their thumb up? This, yeah, perfect, this document. Okay, so I don't know why it's doing that. Absolute technophobe. So yeah, so this document is not pretty yet. I am supposed to be sending it to Joanne Bonnet to make it all pretty. It's literally just a Word document. Like I said, I just kind of threw it together really. But this is kind of the things that I go through with someone when I'm getting them started on that initial getting started call. So again, what we want to really kind of reiterate is that, you know, we're celebrating them, kind of saying like, well done for starting your own Arbonne business. It's amazing. And what, just say, you know, what we're going to go through to make it nice and easy. And talking about that duplication, so we've got a simple duplicable system which has proven success and that you learn as you learn. I also say that my advice is for them to be coachable. I think that's really important, that they know that they're there to learn from you, and that again, you're not going to do the work for them. You can guide them and you're their mentor, but you can't do the work for them. So I like to mention that I'll be sending them some audios and videos. This is really important, guys. So you need to be sending, when you've got a newbie, you need to be sending them a video or an audio every single day, because they might, you know, we know the ones that are most beneficial. And I'm actually putting together another document as well, which is 30 videos for your first 30 days in Arbonne. So I'm going to do that. I just need to add the links in, and then I'm going to send that to Donna so that she can check it, and then we'll post that on NC as well. This is going to be posted on NC, Nation Collaboration, sorry. And then you want to reiterate that when they have watched those audios and those videos, that they let you know what they've learned from it, what they loved about it. And then you can send the next one, you know? So it's just keeping that kind of relationship there, so you know what else you can help them with, you know where they're at. Again, so this is like the very first point that I kind of talk about then after that. So and I know I've said it a lot already, but it's the getting started, is to reassure that newbie that what they're doing is so simple. It's not easy, but it's very simple. So and I think you really up your sponsoring numbers when you don't overcomplicate what we do. I know I've just talked about this. Again, you know, all we're doing is switching our brand and sharing that with others. So there's a kind of like an analogy, and I think we all love analogies. And I like to kind of just say, all millennials know about Starbucks. So when you think of Starbucks, when the guy, you know, opened it, if he wanted to make that business bigger, he wouldn't just add in a few more tables and chairs or kind of build an extension on it. He created a franchise, you know. Starbucks started off with just one coffee shop, and now it's just all over the world. So that's helping lots of people to open their own Starbucks. So you build a franchise. Just want to check I haven't missed anything. And that's literally all you're doing with an Arbonne business. So you've signed up, you've got your website, you've got your ID, your online shopping, and you're helping other people to online shop. And that is it. So I like to kind of reiterate that point. Then the next point that you want to talk about is your why, their why. That's really, really important, and it always has been. So I say, so when I first sign someone up, I tell them to write down 2 things, and that's a 100-person list. I'll go into that in a bit, and their whys. That is so important. And then I say to them, when we have our getting started, you need to be able to talk about this, so that if they write it down, it's way easier, and then you can talk about that with them. And that's just so important. You, as a sponsor, you know how you can help them to get where they want to be, and for them, it's, you know, if there's any ever any tough days, maybe they really wanted their best friend, you know, if you really want your best friend to join your business and they don't, your why is something that you can go back to and know that, you know, and stay in the game. So that's really important. Another thing I like to say is, what will your life look like when you're earning your MVP income? If people don't want to build to MVP, that's fine. You can say, you know, what would your life look like when you're earning an extra £500 or £1,000 per month? And then get them to talk about that, so that they know that that is possible, and they can see that, they have that vision. We all know how important vision is. So this is kind of a new thing, and I'm really, really stressing this. I think it's so important that, you know, millennials, we're all on Instagram. Instagram is kind of like the biggest tool that we have, and that's why so many people are popping region, nation, blah, 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 so quickly. So you want to post on Instagram as soon as you get your products, or like as soon as you can. Don't try and be an undercover consultant. Most people have tried to do it. It doesn't work. Being an undercover consultant does not work. The whole point of how we get paid is from sharing Arbonne. So in that post, you want to talk about why you joined Arbonne, why you're excited about it. People want to know why you're excited. And then an extra engagement that I like to encourage is talking on your story. So lots of people don't see the post. So if you talk on your story, camera to face, it's a bit cringy in the beginning, but it works. It really does. I get so much more engagement when I'm talking to my audience. And then I think another really good one, and I'm going to be doing a bit of training, and I think Holly might be as well, on how to kind of really roll with Instagram. This is just getting started for now. Is talking about, say, if you're doing the 30 days to healthy living, which, guys, is so, so important. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. You want to say something like on your story, like, I'm so excited to get healthy, or I'm so excited to get healthy and wealthy. And then polls. I mean, polls are amazing. I've always got a poll up like every single day. And then you want to say, like, who wants to join me? And it's like, you know, most people want to get wealthy, and quite a lot of people want to get healthy as well. So you don't want to put yes and no. You want to put, yeah, I really want to get healthy, or yeah, I really want to, you know, get healthy and wealthy, or both, or something like that. Never put, I'll talk about this on another training, but never put yes and no, because people click no. That doesn't look very great. And there's always going to be those random people that do that, who are very annoying. So then it's talking about launches. So I kind of just jump straight to that. So the why, and then posting, and then the launch, keeping it simple. So you want to launch your business as soon as possible. Urgency is so important. So one on Facebook and one on Instagram is the absolute best thing that you can do. So for Facebook, most of you know that we create a private Facebook group. and we explain in the description of that what the group's for, that it's a platform to share the new opportunity with your friends and family. You want to invite people to that group, not just add them. You have to invite people to that group personally, individually, and say, so I put an example message here. So, hey, I'm really excited, always put their name. I'm really excited to let you know that I've started my own online business, and I'm so keen to share it with my friends and family since it's an opportunity for everyone. I know you've always been open to new opportunities, or you're looking for an extra income, you're so busy, you're really supportive of everything I ever do. So it may be a great fit for you too. I've created a closed Facebook group where I can tell all my friends and family about it in one place. Would it be okay to add you? Easy. Most people are going to say yes. Really important that you do personalize it though. So if that person's always been, so successful, and they're just, kind of really good at what they do already, then you want to put that. If they're your best friend, you're not going to put that. You're going to say, you're always really supportive of everything, unless you genuinely, a really good reason why they would want to do Arbonne, like, I don't know, if they're in beauty or something like that. So yeah, that's just that. And then you want to go live in that group. So in that Facebook group, you will go live with your sponsor, and it's going to be a Q&A format with your sponsor. So they're going to be asking you a few questions. You're going to be answering them. I'm pretty sure most of you on this call have done that already, aren't that early on. And yeah, that's just that really. Then live on Instagram. Again, that's amazing. Most people have so many followers on Instagram. And what I love about Instagram is that although it can be really nerve-wracking the first time you do it, every single person that follows you when you go live on Instagram gets a notification that you've gone live. That is incredible. A lot of people are going to be intrigued and click on that. So lots and lots of people are going to be jumping on, hearing what it's about. Even if they hear snippets, they're going to kind of want to know more. And always post a flyer of that as well, I would say. So at least 24 hours before, say that you're going to go live, create something on Canva or Unfold, or I can't really remember the other apps, but those two are really good. So pop one of those up at least 24 hours before on your Instagram to let people know that you are going live, to really create that intrigue as well. And checking I haven't missed anything. So then you want to go through why it's so important to get to district manager quickly. If this is what they want to do, if they really want to roll with it, most millennials do, then you want to stress why it's so important to get to district manager quickly. And the simple answer is that's validation. It's validation for your network that this business works. Lots of people are going to be like, oh, okay, they're really going for that. And like, that's real. We've all had those skepticisms, is Arbonne a real thing? So then you want to sponsor 4 people as soon as possible. Ideally, in your first month, you want to sponsor 4 people as soon as possible. So frank analogy, it's a bit random that I've got this in here. So I'm going to talk a bit more about your 100-person list in a bit. But frank basically means, I think I just need to jumble this around a bit better. So friends, relatives, acquaintances or work colleagues, neighbours and kids. And that's not kids that you want to sponsor. You want to sponsor anyone you know through kids. So mums or teachers or childminders, anything like that. And the reason why we say 4 people as soon as possible is because what we always teach is that your building block, which is 2,500 QV, if you can do that and then help, ideally 4 people, but if you can help 3 other people to do that as well, then you are in area manager qualification. That's 10,000 QV. But at the very minimum, you want to get to district manager as soon as possible, which is 6,000 QV in your, if you can do it in 1 or 2 months, 6,000, or 3 months is 7,500 QV, but it makes no sense to do that. You just want to do it in 1 or 2 months. And like I just said, AMQ is 4 building blocks. So QV, if anyone's not quite sure on QV yet, and you really want to explain this in the getting started as well, because there is a lot of Arbonne lingo that can be confusing. And it's basically, I just say it's a global currency, and it's like a point system. So every product has points attached to it, and the more points you get is how you get up through the levels. And that is it, keeping it simple again. So then I briefly mentioned being a product of the product, but I really do kind of stress this. So you are investing in your business. If you were starting a traditional business, it would cost thousands. We are so lucky that all of this has already been done for us. All the products have been created, customer service, everything. So this does not cost a lot to start. I mean, it costs £30 to start an Arbonne business, but you have to get products. You have to be authentic and integral. And you can't, you know, for one, you won't have a big belief in Arbonne unless you've tried all the products. How will you be, you know, you'll be way less confident if you've only tried the nutrition. Because if someone comes to you and says, oh, I really want to try some makeup, what's it like? And you're like, oh, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet. You know, it's not very helpful. So yeah, so again, I like to say about Starbucks as well, you need all the tools. You can't just say, oh, I can't really afford to get, you know, or like to fill the place with tables and chairs, I'll just get a few. It just makes no sense. So you want all the tools that you can. 30 days to healthy living is so important. I started my business last year in March. I didn't do the 30 days until I think it was June or July. And then in that time, I was documenting on Instagram, talking about it to my friends, feeling amazing, looking amazing. And it just, you know, it just built my belief so much. And, you know, the 30 days is brilliant QV. And when I find that if someone does it, you know, a PC in your network, they go and tell all their friends about it. So then they're joining and they're doing it. The 30 days to healthy living is like the most popular thing in Arbonne. So you want to do it so that you can talk about it. It's so important. And again, like I said, you can document it on social media. The testimonials that you can share are amazing. I did it in January, and, you know, just sharing testimonials and stuff on Instagram, I get so many people saying, oh, what's this about? I put polls up to say, you know, I'd like more information, or can you send me the video? And then I send the Sarah Law 3-minute video on the 30 days to healthy living. And just so many people just want to do it because it's just, you know, I just chat about what it is, that kind of thing, and that it's really simple. It's not a diet or anything like that. And you can ask your upline about that kind of thing, but just do it. Just do the 30 days. It's amazing. But yeah, I just want to stress that if you haven't got the products, then your belief's not going to be as big, because once you've tried Arbonne products, you just know they're incredible, and then you can share that with more people. So I just mentioned that briefly, but kind of really do stress the importance of that. Quite often, a lot of people do the 30 days to healthy living. This is the other one. People do the 30 days to healthy living, and then 2-3 months later, that's the only products that they've ever had. You know, you need to be, you know, gradually Arbonizing your entire home. So the next thing, and pretty much the last thing that I go through, is learning and training. So how you actually learn, and that's from Monday night trainings on Zoom every Monday at 9 o'clock. Although I think it's slightly earlier now, 8:30 p.m. On Mondays. And then on the first Monday of the month, it's a slightly longer one because we hear from Gordon Fraser, who's our National Vice President. Audios and videos, so important. Like I said, you want to be watching at least one or listening to one daily. So the very first one you want to listen to is the Darren Hardy one, which is slightly longer, called Making the Shift. The other ones, you know, like I said, I've prepared something that is being finalized on your first 30 videos in Arbonne. And lots of great ones on there. A lot of them are Discover Arbonnes, because that's really important. The Secret is another great one. People love, you know, us millennials love Netflix. So if you tell them that they can go and watch something on Netflix, they're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go watch that. So The Secret, yeah, it's on Netflix. I think it's also on YouTube. So you tell them to go and watch that. I'll talk about some other ones in a minute, I think. Basically, your sponsor's going to be sending you these videos. So don't go off Googling and YouTubing, because they know the most beneficial ones for you. And then you've got Nation Collaboration, plug into that every single day, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. And you've got all the files in there of things like this that's going to go in there. So that's where you can find things. Then you've also got the source, which is amazing. So that's on your Arbonne website. And if you're not sure on how to get to it, then ask your sponsor and they'll be able to let you know. But it's basically like an Arbonne Google, so it's absolutely brilliant. And that's pretty much it. That's all I go through in the getting started. So I'm just going to stop sharing. I don't know why it's going like this. It's Tracy, you're on the screen. We'll go like this, we'll do this. So that's that. Oh, I just wanted to say that with the Monday night trainings, be on the call no matter what time zone you're in, no matter where you are. Even if you can just put one earphone in, just listen to it. I mean, obviously if you're at work, that's different. If you're giving birth, yeah, there's a good excuse. But that is that. Sorry, I'm just getting something else up to help me. And yeah, so I jump on the UK one and the Australian one, and I love them. So they teach me so much, and then you don't have to go back and watch it another time. It's more fun when it's there. So just some other things that I thought would be good to share with you all. So writing down your 100-person list, like I spoke about. I don't really talk much about that in the getting started, because I mentioned that when I sign someone up. So I stress the importance of writing down 100 people, or as many people. I think most millennials know way more than 100 people, and tell them to keep that somewhere so that they can keep adding to it. Every time they meet someone, they can keep adding to that. And yeah, so it's just as many as you can, and never judge anyone as well. You never know who this is going to be a great fit for. There's so many people kind of in my business that I never ever thought would be. Even PCs, I thought, oh god, they don't even wash, and they're a PC. So follow some people on Instagram. That's another one. I think it's great to do that in your first month, so you know a bit more about what people are like on social media. Some millennials that I love are, and I think are good to follow, is Mariah Grunner. She got to RVP in 4 months. She's super young, and she just rolled with it. And then you've got Emma Fell. She got to MVP in a year. Annie Graf, she was the same. Kristen Stavridis, I absolutely love her. And then there's a guy called Zach. I can't remember. I just want to put a guy in there. And I couldn't think, because I thought, I don't know if Stuart Armfield's really a millennial, but he's great to follow anyway. I love Kristen Stavridis. I love nutrition and that kind of thing. So it's finding someone who you can relate to, and who you really look up to, and who inspires you. So like I said earlier, talking to your audience on your stories works really well, especially in your first month, because people want to know why you're doing Arbonne and where you're going with it. Really, really paint the picture and cast that vision. Is so important, and people will be relating to you as well. And that's the other thing, you might not think that people are watching you, and maybe they don't say yes to joining your business and you thought that they would, but they are absolutely watching you. So give them a great show. Some audios and videos that I'd love to shout out are, like I just said, Mariah Grunner. She has a video on getting to RVP in 4 months. And even from the call, you can kind of tell that she really doesn't know much about what she's doing, but she's just brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. Amy Connell's another good one, because she talks about Gen Ys and why it's so important to have a network marketing business or a side income when you're a Gen Y. Peyton Mott is a really good one. But it's vital that you build your belief in this industry and Arbonne as a whole. And from hearing people's stories, you're going to be able to do that. So another one is 60-second story. You really need to learn your 60-second story as soon as possible, because I think I had Lena come to me the other day and someone said to her, oh, what's Arbonne? And she was like, because sometimes in the beginning you're a bit like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to really explain it. So if you explain your 60-second story, that's brilliant. So learn that as soon as possible. There's a great audio on that. Some books. So books that you want to read in your first month is 100,000,000% GoPro. It's such an easy read. When people tell me they don't read, GoPro is just such an easy read. It's brilliant. And it's just got step by step how we literally roll with this business. So read that immediately. And then I think the next best one after that is Get Over Your Damn Self. And again, you've probably heard it already. You want to be reading 10 pages a day, but stick to those two first. You also want to start learning the presentation as soon as possible. We are independent consultants. You want to get independent as soon as possible. So how we share Arbonne is important. You need to know that. So, and your business grows as you grow, and that is going to give you the confidence. So practice on anyone you can. Until you've learned that presentation and how we share the opportunity, you need to get as many people in front of your upline as possible, as humanly possible. Just get them in front of your upline. That is pretty much your job in the first month, because they're going to be able to share it. And another one is get yourself to an event. So Discover Arbonne, a car presentation, a training day, a success academy. Just get yourself to something. I remember my first one was in London, and I was just like, oh my God, because you really don't get it. And it was just like lightning going off in my mind of like, oh my God, like I really understand what this is now. But I didn't. I still don't. You know, you always learn it. And your vision just expands every single day. So that's it really. Like I said, I had to kind of put this together quite quickly. So I hope I've kind of covered everything, but I want to hear, like I said, I want to hear from you guys. So if anyone's got anything they want to say, just unmute yourself. If anyone else has got anything that they want to add, then I'd love to hear from that. Oh, I better stop recording.